Today we will see the example on lag compensator. Let us see that example. System shown in the figure. System shown in figure operating with a damping ratio. Operating with damping ratio of 0.174. Compensate the system. Compensate the system to improve the steady state error. To improve the steady state error by a factor of 10 by a factor of 10 if the system is operating with if the system is operating with damping factor of 0.174. The system is this one plus minus this is k divided by s plus 1 s plus 2 s plus 10 and it is connected with unity feedback. This is R of S and C of S. Now see here in this example the damping ratio is given, that is 1.74. For the uncompensated systems also the damping ratio is 1.74, and when the system is compensated, even though the system is operated with the damping ratio of 0.174, that means we are not changing the damping ratio of the system, but we have to improve the steady state error. So we have to find out the compensator for this system. Now here is the simple, we have to improve the steady state error. We have to improve the steady state error, so that means we require the lag compensator. We have to, for improvement in steady state error, we require lag compensator. Lag compensator, g of c, gc of s, it is equals to k multiplied by s plus z s plus p. So this is our equation for the compensator. So we have to find out the value of the k, that is gain of the compensator, the zero of the compensator and the pole of the compensator. So k multiplied by s plus z divided by s plus p, this is our equation, and this we have to find out, and this is nothing but our lag compensator, because we have to improve the steady state error by a factor of 10, and in both uncompensated and the compensated we have to keep our damping ratio remains same, that is 0.174, so this is our condition, we have to keep the damping ratio remains constant, and we have to design this lag compensator with the equation zc it is equals to k into s plus z divided by s plus p. Z is the compensator pole and p is z is the compensator 0 and p is the compensator pole, and k is the gain of the compensator. Okay, so now we have to find out these three factors. Now see here, one thing I have given these examples in a notes also, but here I am solving these examples little bit different way. So I will update the notes also in the same manner, and again that I will send you the same note with the this one. I think this is the quite easy, and it is this one. So first we will consider uncompensated system first. Uncompensated system. For the uncompensated system, we have to find out the steady state error. What is this steady state error is there? But in the uncompensated system, to find out the steady state error, the k is unknown. The k is unknown. So we have to find out the k first. Find out the k first. So after finding the k, that value we will put it here. That value we will put it here, and then we will find out the steady state error of the system. Steady state error of the system. To find out the steady state error of the system, we must know what is the value of the s. What is the value of the s? The desired pole location of this one uncompensated system. Now for this one, first we will know that is the neta is given. It is 0.174. 0.174. So first we will find out the cos phi. It is equals to neta. Cos phi it is equals to neta. So neta it is equals to cos inverse phi it is equals to cos inverse neta. So phi it is equals to cos of inverse 0.174, and it is coming near about 80. It is coming near about 80. We have calculated this one. Yes, it is coming 80 degree. It is coming 80 degree. So 5 we know that is 80 degree. 5 we know that is 80 degree. Now for this uncompensated system, we will draw the root locus of this one. We will draw the root locus of this system. Now we know P1 it is equals to -1, P2 it is equals to -2, and P3 it is equals to -10. P3 it is equals to -10. So these three poles we have in the left side of the system, left side of the S plane. So P1, P2, P3 that we know. P1, P2, P3 that we know. Now for this one, first we have to find out the number of asymptotes. And so there are the three poles. So that means we have the three asymptotes are there, because no zeros in the system is there. So all the poles will terminate at the infinity. All the poles will terminate at the infinity. Angle of asymptotes it is equals to plus minus 2k plus 1 into 180 divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. So k it is equals to 0, 1 and 2. 0, 1 and 2. So this is theta. So angle of asymptotes theta it is equals to plus minus 2k plus 1 180 divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. So this we know. These equations we know. So now see here, we will put k it is equals to 0 in the equation. So this becomes theta 1 it is equals to, this is 0. So 2 into 0 that is 0, plus 1 is 1, 180. So this becomes 180 divided by number of poles are 3. So this becomes 60. So this becomes 60. Now we will put theta 2. Theta 2 it is equals to, we will put k it is equals to 1 in the equation. 2 into 1 that is 2, plus 1 that is 3. 3 into 180 that is 540 divided by 3. So this becomes 540 divided by 3, that is 270 to 180. Okay, and then we will put theta 3 it is equals to k it is equals to 2. 2 into 2 that is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 into 180 that is 900. 900 divided by 3. So this becomes 300. So this becomes 300. So now we know the angle of the asymptote, that is 60, 180 and 300. 60, 180 and 300. Now the centroid. We have to find out the centroid. Sigma it is equals to real part of poles minus real part of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. So sigma it is equals to real part of the poles. This is minus 1 is the real part, minus 2 is the real part, and minus 10 is the real part. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 10 divided by, no zeros is there, so 0 we will not consider. Number of poles are 3 and no zeros are there. So this becomes minus 10, minus 2, minus 12, minus 13, minus 13 divided by 3. So this becomes, we have to find out centroid, and it is coming 1 minute, 4.34 minus 4.34. So this is our centroid. So this is our centroid. Centroid it is equals to real part of the poles. Real part of the poles. This is our pole. Minus 1 is the real part of the pole. Minus 2 is the real part of the pole, and minus 10 is the real part of the pole. So this is minus 1, minus 2, and minus 10. So if we sum this one, it is coming minus 13 divided by 3. That is number of poles. Zeros, there is no zeros in the system, so real part of the 0 becomes 0 and number of zeros are 0. So we will consider only poles. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 10, that becomes minus 13 divided by 3. If we add this one, then it is coming minus 13 divided by 3. So this becomes minus 4.34. So centroid that we have calculated, the angles we have calculated, the angles we have calculated. Now we have to calculate the breakaway point. We have to calculate the breakaway point. Now this is our system. This is our system. Now see here, if we take the transfer function of the system for this system, then the transfer function of the system, it is equals to C of S divided by R of S. It is equals to this one is K divided by something plus K. That is, this transfer functions you know how to calculate. That is 1 over 1 plus gs into hs. In this equation you have to put the value, g of s divided by 1 plus gs into hs. In this one, g of s it is equals to this one, h of s is equals to 1. In this one, if we put the value, then we have it is equals to k divided by s plus 1, s plus 2, s plus 10 plus k plus k. This value we have. This is our transfer function. Characteristics equation, denominators is the characteristics equation, and it is always equated to the 0. So we can write down s plus 1, s plus 2, and s plus 10 plus k, it is equals to 0. So we can write down, we solve this one. So it is coming s cube plus 13s square plus 32s plus 20 plus k, it is equals to 0. Now we can find out the k. K it is equals to minus s cube minus 13s square minus 32s minus 20. Now to find out the breakaway point, to find out the breakaway points, the equation is dk by ds, it is equals to 0. dk by ds, it is equals to 0. Now we know the k. We will take the differentiation with respect to s. So this dk by ds, it is equals to differentiation of this one with respect to s. So this becomes minus 3s square minus 26x minus 32, and minus 20 becomes 0. So it is equals to 0. So we have 3s square plus 26x plus 32, it is equals to 0. Plus 32, it is equals to 0. Now if we solve this one, then we get s, it is equals to minus 1.48 and s, it is equals to minus 7.81. Now we have to find out which one is our breakaway point. If we solve this one, then we have s, it is equals to minus 1.48 and s, it is equals to minus 7.81. Now out of these two, we have to find out which one is our breakaway point, or both are the breakaway and break in point is there. Now that we have to decide. Now see here, we will draw the graph for this one. So first we will draw here. See, these points are real and on the x-axis. These points are real and x-axis. Breakaway points is always real and it is always on the x-axis. The breakaway points will never be the complex one. It is always real, maybe positive, maybe negative. But it is always real and it lies on the x-axis only. Now see here, we know the poles, that is minus 1, minus 2 and minus 10. That first we will write down here. This is origin 0, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, and let's say this is minus 10. So we have the three poles. Now we have to find out the region of the root locus. To the left of this one, to the right of this one, first pole, there is no poles in this side. So what happens? Yes, no root locus will exist between the origin and this one, or to the right of this one. Now to minus 2, to the right of this ones, there is only one pole and one number is odd one. So what happens? Yes, the root locus will exist between minus 1 and minus 2. Now see here, to the minus 10, to the right of the minus 10, there are the two poles. Two number is even. So between the minus 2 and minus 10, no root locus will exist. So this is our condition. So between the minus 1 and the minus 2, we have the root locus. And that is our root locus region. Now see here, the centroid that we have calculated, that is minus 4.34. So first we will mark that one. Let's say this is minus 4.34. This is my centroid. Now from the centroid, we have to draw the angle at an what is the angle? 60, 180 and 300. So this becomes the angle 60, this is 180, and this is 300, and this is 300. So 60, 180 and 300. Now see here, this pole will move towards the infinity. So this is my root locus for these poles. Now the breakaway points that we have calculated, one is minus 1.48 and minus 7.81. Now see here, 1.48, it lies between minus 1 and minus 2. So it is lying between, it is on the root locus region. Yeah, so this is our valid breakaway point. Minus 7.81 is between 2 and minus 10, but between the 2 and minus 10 there is no root locus. It is not a root locus region, so this is invalid point. So 1.48 minus 1.48, s, it is equals to minus 1.48 is a breakaway point. So now this is approximately at the center here. This is minus 1.48. So this we have to know, that is breakaway point. that is breakaway point. Now see here, what happens here, this pole will move in this direction, this pole will move in this direction, and they will meet at this point. They will meet at this point, and from this point they will move like this one. They will move like this one. They will move like this one. And from the origin, we have calculated the angle phi. Phi it is equals to how much? 80 degree. Phi it is equals to how much? 80 degree. So to the origin, from the origin we have to draw the angle here. This okay, this angle at an angle of 80 degree, at an angle of 80 degree. So this point we have to calculate. This point we have to calculate. Now how to find out this point? How to find out this point? Okay. Now for this one, first we have to find out at what point my root locus is crossing to the j omega axis. This is your this is your j omega axis, and this is your sigma. This is your sigma center. Okay now. So first we have to find out at what point my root locus is crossing to the j omega axis. To the j omega axis. Then and then only we can draw the root locus. Then and then only we can draw the root locus. After drawing the root locus, you have to find out, draw the point, this one. This is my point is, let's say S. This point is S. Now for this one, to find out this point, we know the equation. We know the equation, that is S cube plus 13s square plus 32s plus 20 plus k, it is equals to 0. Now this is S cube plus 13s square plus 32s plus 20 plus k, it is equals to 0. It is equals to 0. Now for this equation, we have to find out the Raoult's criteria for this one. We have to apply the Raoult's criteria for this one. So highest is S cube. So first we will write down here S cube, and then there is S square. So first coefficient of the S cube is 1, and then it is 32. 20 and k is constant, so we will take it as a constant, that is 20 plus k. Second is S square. The S square coefficient is 13, and then it is 20 plus k. So then we will find out the S1. S1 it is equals to what? 20 plus k minus 13 into 32. So this becomes I think it is coming 416. It is coming 416 divided by 13, and then it is S0. That is this multiplied by this minus this divided by again. So this becomes 20 plus k. यहाँ पर जो होता है वो यहाँ पर लिख दो. That is 20 plus k. So from this ones, the first component, or the in a column, this must be positive. So 20 plus k must be positive. So 20 plus k must be equals to 0. So k must be equals to minus 20. Okay, now this is the first equation, and the second one is 20 plus k minus 216. So this becomes k minus 396 divided by, this is 20 minus 4196, that is 396, and k minus divided by 13, it is equals to 0. So that means k must be less than or equals to 396. This is my value. These two are the values are there. Now to find out where it is crossing my j omega axis, so we have to consider the S square row. So this is 13 multiplied by S square. So this is 13 multiplied by S square plus this is 20 plus k. So we have to write down, this is 20 plus k it is equals to 0. It is equals to 0. So now see here, we know the value of the k, it is equals to 396. So we will write down 3s square plus 20 plus 396, it is equals to 0. So this is 13s square plus 416, it is equals to 0. 41s, it is equals to 0. Now put s, it is equals to j omega in the equation. So this becomes 13 j omega square plus 4 plus 416, it is equals to 0, plus 416, it is equals to 0. So j omega square is minus 13 omega square, because j square is minus 1 and omega square is there. So minus 1 into 13, that is minus 13 into omega square plus 416, it is equals to 0. So omega square, it is equals to 416 divided by 13, it is approximately 32. It is 32. Now we know this one, so omega is coming equals to under root of 32, that is 5.65. So we know the value of omega, it is equals to 5.65. Now see here, this value is j 5.65 and this is minus j 5.65. So first you have to find out this value, and then from this breakaway points, you draw a one curve which is passing through the 5.65 and minus j 5.65. So then we complete our root locus. Now you draw the line which is passing through the origin at an angle of 80 degree. Now it intersects the root locus at this point. Now see here, this value is less than minus 1, so it is coming minus 6 point, minus 0.6 936 this value, and this is j 3 point, it is coming 926. This point of intersection, is this one. S is 0.6936 and this is j 3.926. This is coming, and this is when my neta, it is equals to, here the value of neta is 0.174, because we have drawn the line at an angle of 80, and 80 angles, how it is coming, when we have taken neta, it is equals to 0.174. So that's why we have phi, it is equals to 1. So that means at this points my value of the neta is 0.174. This value we have. So from this points we have the coordinates minus minus 0.6936 plus j 3.926. So we can write down the coordinates of the point s, it is equals to minus 0.6936 plus j 3.926. This is my point which is on the root locus, is having neta is 0.174. This value we know, the value of the s, this we know. Now what we have to do for this point, for these points, 0.6936 plus j 3.926, for this value of the s, we have to find out the value of the k. So now see here, on this root locus, at every point the value of the k is changing. So as the value of the k changes, my root locus travels like this one. So for these points, we know the coordinates, and that coordinate we will put it into the equations, and we will find out the value of the k. For this equation. Now for these equations we know this equation. We know this equation, s cube minus 13s square plus 32s plus 20 plus k, it is equals to 0. In this equation we will put the value of the s. We know the equation, s cube plus 13s square plus 32s plus 20 plus k, it is equals to 0. So k, it is equals to minus s cube plus 13 s square plus 32s minus 20. These equations we know, uncompensated characteristics equation. So sorry, this equation only we have to take this equation. So this 20 will not be there. S cube, this one, or we can write down k, it is equals to, or these equations we can write down k, it is equals to s plus 1, s plus 2 and s plus 10. So at this s we will put the value of this one. This is minus entire. So k, it is equals to minus in bracket, s is how much, minus 0.6936 plus j 3.926 plus 1, this one, then again multiplied by minus 0.6936 plus j 3.926 plus 2, this plus 2, and then it is minus 0.6936 plus j 3.926 plus 10 bracket complete. Now see here, minus 1 and this one, these are the real terms, so we can add, plus 2 and this one, these are the real terms, so we can add, and these terms we can add. So k we can have this minus as it is, and minus 0.6936 plus 1, it is coming something, or better way that you have to calculate, and it becomes a rectangular form. So convert it into the polar, and it is coming 3.93, then minus 0.6936 plus 2, that you have to find out, plus j 3.926, that rectangular form you convert it into the polar form, then it is coming 4.13, and again you have to convert it into the polar form, it is coming 10.110. So k will never be the negative. So k is the absolute value of this one is how much, it is coming 164. So k, it is equals to 164. Now at this point neta, it is equals to 0.174, and k, it is equals to 164. In the notes I have given in some other way, but I think this is the method that we are familiar to draw the root locus and all this one, so you can easily find out this one. So this way we can find out the k. You simply always remember that at the root locus, at every point of the root locus, the value of the k and the neta changes. So at this point the value of the neta is 0.174, because we have find out this point at an angle of 80 degree, because 80 is coming, if it is neta is 0.174, so phi is coming 80 degree. So at an angle of 80 degree we are cutting this point, we have point of intersections, and this point of intersection that we have find out, it is coming 0.6936 and 0.3926. But before finding this ones, first we have to find out this point. How we can find out these points? By roots array. By roots array it is coming 5.65. So in the positive y-axis it is plus j 5.65, and in the negative y-axis it is minus j 5.65. So because the root locus is symmetrical to the x-axis, so here you have to draw the one root locus, here we have to draw these curves, so both are symmetrical to each others. Now after that one, you have to draw the line at an angle of 180 degree and then find out the coordinates. and after finding that coordinates, that you have to put it into the equation, this equation, and find out the value of the k. Find out the value of the k. Now after finding the value of the k, k is coming here, that is 164. Now after finding the value of the k, now you find out the steady state error. Steady state error. Here the system is type 0 system. So that we have the position error. So ESS, it is equals to 1 over 1 plus kp. This is the formula for the error. If it is a type 0 system. Kp, it is equals to limit s tends to 0 g of s into h of s. Now g of s is known. Kp, it is equals to limit s tends to 0 k divided by s plus 1, s plus 2 and s plus 10. K that we have calculated, k is coming how much? 164. That is for the uncompensated system. So now we will put the value of the kp, it is equals to limit s tends to 0, that is 164 divided by s plus 1, s plus 2 and s plus 10. Now put the limit s tends to 0. So this kp becomes, it is equals to 164 divided by, here is the 0, here is the 0, here is the 0. 0 plus 1 is 1 into 2 into 10. So this is 164 divided by 20. So this kp becomes how much? 8.08 something. 8.2. It is coming. So this is our kp. Now this kp we will put here. ESS becomes 1 over 1 plus kp. So this becomes 1 over 1 plus 8.2. So ESS becomes 1. ESS is 1 over 1 plus kp. 1 over 1 plus 8.2. Because kp is 8.2. So ESS, it is equals to 0.108. This is my ESS of an uncompensated system. Okay. So this way we can find out the steady state error of the uncompensated system. So for this one we have to draw all these practice, all these ones to find out the steady state error. Of uncompensated system. First you have to draw the root locus, and from the root locus you can find out the steady state error. Because we don't know the value of the k. Because in this one we don't know the value of the k. That k value we have to find out. So to find out the value of the k, for that one first you have to draw the uncompensated root locus. This is uncompensated root locus. So for this one first we have drawn the uncompensated root locus, and then we have found it, calculated the value of the k, and after calculating the value of the k we have calculated the value of the ESS, and which is coming 0.108. Now this we have calculated. Now one thing is that here in the statement compensate the system to improve the steady state error by a factor of 10. Means it must be improved by factor of 10. So that means our compensated error and after compensation ESS, it is equals to 0.108 divided by 10. So it must be how much it is coming? 0.018, 0.0108. This, because it is given in the equation, in the statement only. Compensate the system to improve the steady state error by a factor of 10. So first we have to find out the uncompensated error, and compensator. After compensations, my steady state error becomes 0.0108. It is reduced by 10 times. It is improved by 10 times or reduced by 10 times. So it is 0.0108. 0.0108. So this we know. So ESS we know. Now ESS we know. So we know the equation of the ESS. ESS, it is equals to 1 over 1 plus Kp. 1 over 1 plus Kp. Here we will take the suffix, that is Kpc. So that means it is compensated. So ESS is 0.0108. It is equals to 1 over 1 plus Kpc. 1 plus Kpc. So from this ones we can find out the Kpc. Kpc becomes this becomes 91.59. 91.59. Okay, so this value we have, Kp value, this Kp value we have, Kpc, it is equals to 91.56. this value we have. Now see here, this is our compensated. Uncompensated is Kp, it is equals to how much that we have calculated, it is 8.2. that is, it is 8.2 approximately. We can write down, we can have the equation, the compensated 0 divided by compensated pool, it is equals to compensated position error divided by uncompensated position error. It is equals to this is 91.59 divided by 8.2. So ZC divided by PC, it is coming equals to 11.13. 11.13. ZC divided by PC, compensated 0 divided by compensated pool, that we can have this value, that is Kpc divided by Kp, it is equals to 91.59 divided by 8.2. So this is the approximate equation that we can have. So we can have ZC divided by PC, it is equals to 11.13. 11.13. This you have to remember. For the lag compensator. ZC divided by PC, it is equals to Kpc divided by Kp, it is equals to this one. These equations you have to remember and put the values here. We will get ZC divided by PC, it is equals to 11.13. Now this ZC, it is equals to 11.13 multiplied by PC. So this value we know. These equations we know. ZC, it is equals to this one. This we know. Now choose PC, it is equals to 0.01, which is nearer. Always you have to remember, choose PC, it is equals to 0.01, which must be nearer to the origin. The pole in the lag compensator, the pole must be nearer to the origin, as nearer as possible. So here arbitrarily we have changed, randomly we have choose the one value, PC, it is equals to 0.01, which is very nearer to the this one, what we say, the origin. So ZC, it is equals to 11.13 multiplied by PC, it is equals to 11.13 multiplied by 0.01. So ZC, it is equals to 0.1113. So this value we have. Now we have the ZC and the PC. Our compensator equation, GC of S, it is equals to K multiplied by S plus ZC divided by S plus PC. So it is equals to K multiplied by S plus Z is 0.1113 divided by S plus 0.01. This value we have. This value we have. Now this is we know. This is we know. This value we know. ZC it is equals to K multiplied by S plus 4 S plus PC divided by something something. It is equals to this one. It is equals to this one. This value we know. This value we know. Now we have to find out the value of the K. We have to find out the value of the K. What is the value of the K for this system? What is the value of the K for this system? Now for this one, our compensated system is like this one, plus minus, this is K multiplied by S plus 0.113 divided by S plus 0.01, and then here it is 1 divided by S plus 1 S plus 2, and here is S plus 10. Here is S plus 10, and then we will connect it here. That is our unity feedback. That is your unity feedback. This is your R of S and this is your C of S. This is our system. This is our system. Now see here in the original system, here is the K. So that K we have taken it here in the compensator. So here is the 1 divided by S plus 1 S plus 2 S plus 10, and this is my system, Now see here we have one pole is here, second pole is here, third pole is here, and fourth pole is here, and 1 0 is here, and 1 0 is here. So now for this system again we have to draw the root locus. Whatever the procedure, that procedure that we have adopted to draw the root locus of the uncompensated system, the same procedure that we have to adopt for here. Now just to calculate the value of the K. Calculate the value of the K. Now see here there are the 4 poles. P1 it is equals to 0.01. Okay. P2 this is minus. P2 it is equals to minus 1. P3 it is equals to minus 2, and P1 P2 P3 P4 it is equals to minus 10. P1 it is equals to minus 0.001. P2 it is minus 1, P3 is minus 2, and P4 it is equals to minus 2, and Z1 it is equals to what? Minus 0.1113. So this is our poles and zeros are there. Now for this one I will give you the simple idea how to draw this one. So this we will again draw the graph. Here this is my origin, this is the point origin, then the pole is at minus 0.01. so here just nearer to this one, this is 0.01 at nearer to this one. Then P2 is minus 1, 0.1, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, and let's say this is minus 10, These are the 4 poles are there. 1 2 3 and 4, 1 2 3 and 4, 1 2 3 and 4. So this is 1 2 3 and 4, and this is Z1, it is equals to minus 0.113. Let's say here only 0.113. This is there. Now see here to the right of this one there is no pole, no zero. So to the right of this pole no root locus will exist. To the right of the zero there is only one pole, so that is the odd number. So between this pole and this zero, the root locus will exist. So that means what happens here, these poles will move towards this zero. That is our root locus for this one. Now to the right of this minus 1, there is 1 0 1 pole, so total number is 2, which is the even number. So no root locus will exist between minus 1 and minus 0.113. Here to the minus 2, there is one pole, 1 0 and again one pole, so total numbers are 3. So that means minus 1 and minus 2, again there is a root locus between these two. Again there is a root locus between these two. Understood this one? And to the right of this minus 10, here is the two poles, there is another one pole is there, that means 3 plus 1 0, so that is 4. So the no root locus will exist between these two. The root locus will not exist between minus 10 and minus 2. So that means minus 10 will move towards the infinity, will move towards the infinity. Now see here in this one, the root locus will exist between these two, the root locus will exist between these two. Now see here somewhere will be the breakaway point, and this will move like this one. Again we'll have the same points, and from this point origin we have to draw the one line at an angle of 80 degree, because at this point neta it is equals to 0.174, because we have to keep the compensated and uncompensated neta remains same. So this we have to find out, and then we have to find out this point and this point. Then we have to find out this point and this point. Again we have, after finding these points, that is our desired location of the pole. After finding that desired location of the poles, that value you have to put into the equations and find out the value of the k. I have done these procedures and it is coming k, it is equals to, I think it is coming 158. This one. Suppose if you are not here, again to draw the root locus and all these ones, it is really a time consuming process. But at least you can find out the 0 and the pole in the uncompensated system by this equation, and the k value that you can draw like this ones, and k value that you can write down approximately something which is always less than that one. So k it is equals to 150, it is coming like this one, so that you can you can solve up to this point, and you have to draw this root locus, if you are not finding the k, some marks will be cut, but you will get you will get, suppose it is of 10 marks, you will get at least 9 marks. Suppose it is of 20 marks, you will get near about 18 marks for this one, 17-18 marks for this. If it is a question of 20 marks, then you have to solve it, you have to draw the root locus for both the, and if it is of the 10 marks, then you have to at least do up to these points and left out this one but you can draw like this one, and then you have to finish your example. So this is the way by which we can solve our lag compensator example.